2, 1. Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Three Good Guys podcast. We are excited, and we got some things to dig into. Somebody over here prepared some stuff for us to enjoy today. But before we do that, a couple things. First and foremost, we need you guys to hit the subscribe button, and we definitely need you guys to hit the like button. That helps us so much. And also, just real quick with the introductions, my name is Miles. His name is
Leonard.
And with that being said, let's hop into today's episode of the Three Good Guys podcast. I know Leonard got some stuff he wants to share.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him share.
All right, we got a couple questions. Some come from our friends and family. Some come from a very popular podcast we saw online. But let's hit the first one, fellas. Because I don't think you guys didn't answer this yet.
Nope.
All right, so here we
I
go.
don't think so.
If you and your partner were getting into it before a public event, do you put on a fortified front and not show people that something happened when you go in, have a good time? Or do you go in and be mad?
Who's going first?
You go ahead, man.
I think it depends on what the situation. For me personally,
Of course,
depends on what the situation is, and two, if we're going inside. Period. Right. If we're going inside, there's no reason to put your anger on other people who have nothing to do with anything. Mm-hmm. So I believe that you should be at least cordial and respectful to the people that are there, that you're there with. Mm-hmm. And so that's probably going to look like having a good time anyways. At least to most people, it's going to look that way. And then y'all can deal with what y'all got to deal with afterwards. But I say the bare minimum, respect the people that you're going to be with. If you're going to go be with them, have some respect for them folks.
Not mad at it.
Honestly, it's to me it's a little bit loaded because it kind of depends. Like it depends on if I'm the one real mad or if she's the one real mad. But for the most part, I kind of agree with you. Like I'll try to keep it together for the sake of wherever event we're at. But like if it's just something that's bothering me massively, like I can't get out the car. Or I don't want to get out the car.
Stuck in the car.
Until we kind of go over what we need to go over. And honestly, like, if it's bad enough, I'd rather just not go to a place if
If
we're
it's
not
that bad.
But now, if it's something I committed to, if it's something serious that I got to be at, I got to show up for people, then, of course, I'll still go. Mm-hmm. But I will give the option, like, especially if I'm mad, like, do you want to just stay home? Like, you can just stay. If you're gonna have attitude, you should just stay. I'll go.
I feel like that's gonna make me
I think
more
that's the
mad.
best way to go about it, because I know like someone was saying like they'll be mad at the event, and I'm like, them people didn't do nothing to you.
Exactly.
Like they don't. Like I can't stand when I go somewhere and somebody just being depressing or just sucking all the fun out the room.
To me, it's very difficult to do that. Like I can't stay
mad for a long time.
All day.
Yeah,
especially
you're right.
Around people who
I've
are not
tried
feeling
it.
the same way.
I've literally told myself like, "Nah, I'm gonna be mad at my wife because she needs to know what this is like." And then like 30 minutes later, I was like, "Yeah, forget it."
I'm over it. Like I really like, and I've done it. I've done it to completion, like a full because my wife, she can go for a couple of days.
Dang.
Don't get in trouble now.
I mean, we're just being real about it. And so I tried that because she did make me mad, and I was just like, I'm about to cash this in. I'm about to not talk and say nothing.
12 hours later, you was done, huh?
I was done after like the first couple of hours, but then I'm like, no, I gotta stay.
You gotta. I've been there. I
gotta make it to at least
She gotta know what this is like.
Exactly. And then eventually, I'm over it. But then I think it gets to a point where, because I'm not really like that, so even though I'll be the one that's originally mad, she'll just get mad for the simple fact that I'm not, or she won't get mad, but I guess she'll just not approach because she's like, well, he doesn't want to talk to me. So,
oh man,
she's not gonna break the ice or anything. So, I have to be the one to introduce the talking back again at any time. So whether it's her being mad or me, most of the time it's me that got it.
So have you ever got this? Have you ever got this? Like because you was being distant, she got mad. Has that ever happened? Because you was mad, she got mad.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't necessarily because I was being distant. It's because I guess because I was being distant, I did something that made her upset. It wasn't directly just the me being distant thing that made her mad.
But back to the original question.
Yeah, like I wasn't paying attention to something because I didn't want to. You know, I was trying to hold strong.
Yeah. Back to the original question. I think I just don't think going into a place being mad is ever good. So fix it in the car, or decide to fix it later, or don't go. But I don't like that. I'm gonna be in here in front of people and I'm gonna be mad at you. But I also don't like the whole let's be fake in front of people either. So you might have to.
But to me, like, to an extent, again, of course, everything depends on what the thing is.
Yeah, it's
not necessarily being fake. It's just
shelving.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna deal with it later.
I get that, but there's times when people can't just be fake. I mean, like because I'm not about to be like, let's go kissing and hugging and showing we're America's best couple. Like, nah, we ain't there right now. I'm not here to mess up your activity, but we ain't there right now either. You know, so you ain't gotta fake it. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. But me being a person that can't stay mad that long, like, I'll low-key forget. We're at a place and I'm having a good time. I'll low-key forget.
Yeah, like
mad.
when
I go
people
over there and I'll be like, hey, and then she'd be like,
and then you get in more trouble.
You like, oh dang,
like,
you in more trouble. Yeah.
I forgot. She's still on this.
You get in more trouble.
You know what aggravates me to no end though? Man, I'm about to just be venting this episode.
Oh,
here we go.
That's right. Ain't got nothing to do.
You
That's
free.
right.
You good.
This is just a general statement.
Yeah,
gotcha.
If it applies, it applies. If it doesn't, let it fly. Okay. Anyways, when people go to an event, especially if it's about, like, if we're going to, let's say we're going to Leonard's birthday party, we're gonna go celebrate Leonard.
Turn up.
And maybe it's not a ton of us. Maybe it's just us here in this room.
That sounds like my birthday.
And I had an attitude about something. Like, it may not even be something to do with my wife. It could just be I had a bad day. And I'm sitting there pouting the whole time, quiet. People talking to me. I'm not talking. That's the most annoying thing.
That's what I'm saying. Don't come
like,
here with that negative energy.
Don't come. Just don't come. Although I'm sure that Leonard would have, loved for me to be there. Who wouldn't want me to be there? I mean, honestly. I'm me.
Do you want me to answer?
Well, that was today's show, guys, and we'll see you next week.
But like, don't come if you're gonna have an attitude, and then you taken away now from, like, we're here to celebrate Leonard. Now we gotta be worried about what's going on with you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You made yourself the center of attention.
And the thing is, it's okay to be authentic, and like you actually are upset. Like, you don't need to, like, if it's something that's really bothering you, you can't shove it. Understand that and be like, okay, I'm not coming. Like, I'm just not gonna go because I can't let this thing go. So I don't want anybody to feel like pressed or villainized for having those feelings, but just know that it's not good to invite to a space where it's not wanted. Now we gotta because we actually care about you. We're like, okay, what's going on with you? Like, what's happening? Now we're putting all this energy into, like, making
the party is over. Now we're focused on you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now it's a therapy session.
Yeah, stay home.
But I got a question. When y'all are around people that are in a good mood, does not that good energy transfer over to you? Like, you don't feel that when people are laughing and whatnot. So if you're around folks that are enjoying themselves, at some point, are you not just choosing to be upset? Like, I just want to.
What you don't understand is there's a certain sect of the human race or human species, whatever you want to call it, who have very cold hearts.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter how much warmth is in the room, okay? with that, and I ain't say who it is or what it is.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that
If it applies, it applies.
There's a cold-hearted group of individuals who it don't matter how much fun is in the room. They're not here to have fun. That's what their mind is on.
Usually you would say energy transfers, Mm-hmm. If I'm laughing, you'll start laughing. If I'm yawning, somebody will start yawning. So if we all having a good time, I expect Junior to have a good time.
Exactly.
And if he decides
but that's,
the next hour not to.
But just to button it up, that's why I do say, like, fix it before you go in.
Fix it.
For sure.
That's the best way to do it. Just don't. I just think it's disrespectful to whoever's event it is for you to go on to somebody's event with an attitude.
Yeah, I think compartmentalizing, and I say this, like, I'm not saying suppress, I'm just saying compartmentalizing specifically. So, just like you mentioned before, shelving it, like, okay, we're going to put this here. I'm still mad about this. but like I'm not gonna bring this energy into what's going on. Like, and if you can do that, then great. Some people just can't.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of the time, the male species is better at compartmentalizing frustration or anger or something like that to where they can shelve it and still go function. And then, but our counterparts a lot of times have more difficulty doing that.
But shelving, in women's defense, shelving can look like you're avoiding it.
Exactly.
So you got to make sure you give them confidence and let them know,
but I mean,
hey, we are going to, address this.
For sure. And I believe shelving it is. I believe you're absolutely correct. Shelving it is avoiding it. It is avoiding it for that time frame or for that time being for, the greater good and like, hey, we'll address this, but like I'm not getting
the greater good. I am your greatest good. Babe, did you want to talk on this subject? What? Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You want to say so? I can hear you. I'll repeat it.
Let me give you the mic. Hold on.
Welcome into the pod once again.
Or you want
in all of her gloriousness.
The
lady of the house.
That's my lady right there.
That's funny.
You're not on cam.
I know.
Okay, you're not coming. It's okay. You don't have to.
Okay. Are you gonna repeat the question?
Let's say you and your significant other, whoever that might be, get into an altercation before going into a public event. Do you go in like, hey, we're gonna go in here smiling, or you say like, no, I got an issue, I'm about to go in here with an attitude?
Me, I feel like I'll be balanced with that. I will go into an event just fine, but you gonna know I'm mad at you. And in my situation, we're not good at talking like, okay, we're going to go in here and have a great attitude, but we're going to talk about it later. That's never been said. So I will go into the whatever thing, whatever event, whatever, and I'll be fine with everybody else. And depending on what it is, it'll depend on how my energy will be with everybody else. Because if it's something that truly pissed me off, I'm a little short. I'm a little distant with everybody because I got an attitude.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put on. I'll be more quiet, depending on how deep the situation is, because I don't want to put off that energy onto anybody else. So I'll still say hello.
So
I'll
you're
still be polite. I'll still be cordial and all those things. But how the issue would depend on my energy for that evening. But yeah.
I like it. I can do it. Yeah. I like that.
I'm glad you can accept her answer specifically.
Yeah, but no, but because what she said is like, when she was like, and I'll still be mad at you. That's fine. Not like, oh, it's fine to be mad at me, but I get it. My main thing is you don't want to go to a place and impact other people negatively. That'd be the main issue for me. So
let's go to the next one.
Question number 2.
If it's an issue for you, then they might want to be devoted to the bit and like, yeah, I know this makes them mad, so I'm going to do this as well.
That's,
I mean, pettiness does exist. Pettiness does exist.
But it's. I think ultimately, that's a great assessment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, don't bother other people. All right, Miles is so eager to get to question number 2.
I want to know what it is.
I want you to answer this one first, Miles. Why do modest women get ignored while wilder women don't?
Modest women do not get ignored. Pretty women get all the attention they want. It doesn't matter how modest or immodest they are.
Mercy.
Now, what kind of attention? That changes. That might be different, But I don't think I've ever seen a pretty woman who was like, there's not a single guy who likes me right now. No. Now,
so they think they're modest, but they're really ugly.
No, I didn't say that.
That's all I heard.
I've heard them say that, and I'm like, really, nobody? I mean, well, there's this guy. It's like, see, it's always somebody. Pretty women always have somebody that want them. It's not always who they want or how they want it, but I have yet to meet a pretty woman who can legitimately say, there's not a single guy right now that I know who likes me.
Okay. What's that? Ryan, the comedian Ryan
Davis.
That
man funny.
He said this, and Mama, if you're listening, close your ears for the next couple seconds.
Uh-oh.
He said, "Hoes are more fun."
Goodness.
And I agree with that 100%. Listen, y'all forgive me for this, okay?
Oh my
But
goodness.
like, a modest woman is gonna be too good to do things. Some of the time, not always, but I'm generalizing here. You know, whereas a hoe is gonna be down for it. It doesn't matter
Okay.
what it is.
Well, you need to clarify things.
Yeah, what are the things? Because modest women have all kinds of fun all the time.
Really,
Yeah.
some women have a fake modesty. Then I think where they're just like, I'm in the house, I'm reading books.
Yeah, you see, but here's the thing.
Like,
being modest doesn't mean that you didn't go out and have fun.
That's what I mean by clarifying things.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you talking about things in the sense that, you know,
it don't have to be nothing sexual.
Like,
Okay,
okay.
yeah, let's clarify that. It don't
Yeah.
have to be nothing sexual. But like, I wish I found the clip because the way he said it was so
I'm trying
funny.
to get the usher's attention.
Oh,
Can I, usher?
You gonna tell her to close the door? Oh.
what? Oh, you. I
I'm
know
not
you
gonna-
didn't.
I'm not gonna-
I know you didn't stop the show to ask for some gum.
Listen,
You
I'm
can't
not gonna be
text her?
chewing in the- in
You
the
can't
mic,
text
guys.
her.
No, I can't.
Anyways, like, but he was saying like, for
They can
example,
pass it down.
he said skydiving. He was like, you know, you ask a hoe to go skydiving, she gonna be ready to go. Like, that's the, like,
But yeah,
that's the mentality of a wilder person. They just down for whatever. They're more fun.
In that case, I do understand what you mean, because typically those people or those genotypes of people are more down to do
Anything
spontaneous things or
more spontaneous, more outgoing, more fun. Whereas a modest person, you might be boring.
Yeah, so if that's that's the thing. A boring person might be asking that question, but modesty and boring are not.
Well, that's what I'm
synonyms.
saying. That's why I called it false modesty.
Yeah,
Like, so a person asking that, like, oh, I'm a modest woman. What? Like, check yourself. Like, are you a fun person?
yeah,
Are you an interesting person?
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
Just because you keep yourself covered, don't mean
That you're
now you're everything a good man
Absolutely.
wants. No, we want a woman that's covered
Come
and
on.
fun.
Come on,
Like,
'Cause-
can we play dominoes together?
that's
You
what I'm
know,
talking about.
if you don't know how to play dominoes, what do you,
you
know
wanna,
how to play?
you want to
play
go on
something?
a cruise. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You want to go parasailing? You want to do something?
So like, cause I know women that be like, oh, I spent my whole youth being good, and I watched all these girls who were like worldly, and now they're all married. And it's like, because they were fun.
Yeah,
That's why they're married. They're fun people.
you don't have to be sexual to be fun. Though
You-
those two
exactly.
have nothing
Like-
to do with each other.
people enjoying your company is goes a long way.
Come on now.
Or like, you know, if you can be the prettiest girl in the world, but like all you're gonna be good for is to be staring at you, because I mean I just can't have a good conversation with you.
Ugh.
I can't go do anything.
Ain't
with
that
you
annoying?
'cause you don't want to go.
Can't take a bath.
Can't take
Definitely.
a bath.
Don't you get in that
Hey,
bag?
you're right.
Don't you
If
get in
y'all
that
watched
bag?
the last podcast, y'all would understand that. But if you didn't, then unfortunately, it's gonna go over your head.
That was good.
Yeah, like I just don't get it. I think what happens is, and I think that's more of that's definitely a woman-led statement. Like a lot of women feel like that, or a lot of
Yeah, a woman
quote-unquote
asked it.
modest
Yeah.
women will say something like that, and I'm like, honestly, if you can't keep a man's attention, then like, yeah, and his attention doesn't necessarily have to be you just half naked. Like that may get the first approach from some guys, or that may get us to look your direction. But like for us to keep, or for you to keep our attention, you gotta have something else. You gotta be fun to be around and stuff.
So you gotta ask yourself, I'm modest and
Modest
what?
and
I'm modest and funny. You know, I'm modest and just modesty is not enough for a man to
not
want you.
nearly. And at the same token, the 304's, just being a 304 is also not enough.
Yeah, they get attention, but they don't get married.
You know what I'm saying? If you
They
see,
don't know how to calm down.
Yeah.
yeah, if you see,
there's a balance.
if you see a 304 who's married, there's more to her than just those three numbers. You know what I'm saying? There's much more, and she might be less of a 304 than you thought.
Yeah, I don't, cause like I know off the rip, like based on somebody's Instagram page would tell me whether or not I would date them.
Come on now.
Like you'd be like, oh, you got too much showing. Like
Too much.
I couldn't do it.
You know what? I would agree with you in most cases, But I think there's, and I don't think it's a niche. I think there's a quite a few women that maybe looking at their Instagram page, I wouldn't think I would date them, but then like I get to know them and they're actually like cool. I'm like, you know what? We just gotta fix this part.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because if that's the case, then I'm still gonna have to tell you, you gotta fix. You got to fix the IG page.
Yeah, not for a good guy. And not for you can't get a one. You can't get a good guy.
Yeah, you can't get any of us here.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's just
I know.
it is what it is.
Oh man, the two good women in the the three. There's three on the phone there.
Nobody knew about that.
They're probably not agreeing with that.
Yeah, why do you?
She agrees with everything I say.
Why do you think modest women get overlooked and more wilder women don't?
Well, I guess I can say from my younger days, I felt that way about myself because a lot more people get more attention than I did. But and I just thought because I was saved, had boundaries. Different things like that they just didn't want to approach.
I have a question for you. Were there times where there were absolutely no men interested in you? I mean, legitimately, not a single one.
Nah, she always had a roster. Nah, for sure. She always had somebody.
But I did have somebody.
Yeah. So
now we're not even, and not to like be disrespectful to you at all. But at that point, it's not about I'm not getting attention. It's about I want so much attention, or I want X level of attention, or I want the attention that they get.
Different person.
When the truth of the matter is, you are legitimately getting attention, and you might even like the attention that you're getting, but you're just comparing it, and comparison is the thief of joy. Don't do that; it'll mess you up every time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
I guess, like I said, definitely. I think that's what she meant by the question of not that she's not getting approached or whatever, but just not as not how they get approached. I don't.
Oh well.
I'm not first on your mind. I'm not first to be approached by you. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, a modest woman is never going to get the same amount of attention as a 304, and that's because should I say she should be getting much more quality attention than a 304. Cause
you don't want all those approaches.
Yeah, you don't want those approaches.
You don't want 90% of those men that walk up to the 304 dancing on top of the table or at the bar, half naked, at a club or something. You don't want the men that approach her.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Even when they look right, because they will. I've talked to enough women to know the dude that you thought he has a button-up presentation. He is just like the other dudes that's approaching the 304.
Can I just be transparent
because she's
with
a 304.
I went through a phase, right?
Uh-oh.
And in this phase, I was texting like 10 girls a day.
That's a lot.
And I know. And I was hurt, okay? So anyways, during that time, I was texting like 10 girls. And I was texting them the same message. I would make sure the conversation would stay along the same lines just so I didn't have to think too hard. You get what I'm saying? Like, I would gear every conversation along the same lines so I can not even really pay attention to what you're saying and respond. And it was just about me getting some attention. But that's the type of attention that they get. Like, they're not getting quality attention. They're not getting somebody who really cares about them and really pays attention to them. They're getting somebody who's getting what they want out of the situation. So, yeah, you'll never get the same level, but you should have a much higher quality of attention.
Yeah, and then in a lot of cases, as soon as you stop being the 304 that he saw, he's gonna
let me go find another 304.
Yeah, I wasn't here for marriage.
You ain't doing enough for me.
We wasn't here for that.
You gotta put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
So,
yeah, you didn't seem like a person that I would need to wait for. Like, that's literally the mentality.
That's a crazy thing to tell somebody.
That's crazy, ain't it? That's the truth, though. That's how they move.
All right. Question number 3. Junior, you get to answer it first.
All right, let's do it.
If everything else in a relationship is good, is it okay if you are not sexually compatible?
Yes.
I heard someone say that's tough.
That is tough. But it's the truth, though. Because, think about it. Well, okay.
Yeah, think it through before you answer.
sexually compatible in the way of like when they're having sex, they're enjoying it with each other. Now meaning like attractiveness, because I believe this, like, okay, say you guys don't have great sexual interactions with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that can at least be somewhat improved upon over time. Mm-hmm. If everything else is right, like, okay, we can work on this, just like you work on any other part of your marriage. Mm-hmm. I don't see why people feel like you got to be 10 out of 10 right away in that area in order for it to be sustainable. Like, then to me, your mentality is a little bit immature.
Childish. Say that. Yeah.
So that can be worked on, and as long as the two are willing to work on that, then of course. But I mean, if you're just not attracted to the person at all, like, that's tough to even, like, how'd you get to the point of,
how'd you get into a relationship? Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
They got to at least be attractive before you get in a relationship.
Yeah. I think that's hilarious because, well, in this situation, are we talking about two people that are healthy and their body parts work?
I mean, it was a question. It was a young lady. She came up. She was like, if everything else in the relationship is great, but we're just not sexually compatible.
Okay, because I feel like if one of you has an issue where like your body makes that a problem, that should be something that's put up kind of front so that the other person isn't caught off guard.
I don't think that's the situation here.
So as long as y'all bodies work, like Junior said, you can literally learn it. All you have to do is be willing to learn how. Mm-hmm. That's literally it. Okay, how do I press the buttons? And figure it out.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have as a result of not following God's will. Getting out there, getting too many experiences before marriage.
Exactly. Because guess what? How do you know what feels good?
How do you
That's
know?
what I'm saying.
You're supposed to be finding that out.
Okay, because we already established if you're in a relationship, the person's attractive. We already established that.
Come on now.
You can't tell me just them being there is already better than you being by yourself.
Come on.
That's already better. But when you got XYZ on your mind, your previous experiences or videos you've been watching, okay, you got all that on your mind. Now you can't enjoy what's right in front of you. And this is why God was saying, like, wait until you're married. People are like, I gotta try it before I'm married. Like, no, you should have no experiences before you're married.
You should know what you're trying or what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Your only thing when you get married, you should just know, like, okay, this is supposed to be fun. And if we're not careful, a baby can come. That should be the only thing you worried about.
I was never worried about, like, going into marriage because I was like, listen, it's better than
absolutely
what you do by yourself. So just leave it at that. It's gonna top that. You know what I'm saying?
And for a guy, now I can't speak for a lady, but for a guy, every woman should be enough. Like, I have a hard time.
If they're attractive, you gotta be attractive.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Every woman that you're attracted to.
So that ain't every woman.
Yeah, that ain't every woman. But yeah,
that ain't every woman. Let's be real.
Every woman that you're attracted to, if you get married and you don't have other history, literally every woman should. I don't see why it's a problem.
My bad. My apologies.
Leonard said he's the executive of this episode.
I admit sometimes I cut people off and I need to do better at it. I apologize.
No, but I was gonna say, like you asked the question, everything else is good, but you're not sexual. Like, what if it's like really cringy? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it's really cringy?
Do you love this person? Because you gotta have an honest conversation with them.
Tough.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's cringy, should you just end that relationship and lose a good person, or should you just?
But here's what okay. So, see, this is three good guys. We look at the world through God's perspective. Okay, so what's cringy? Because you ain't having sex. So what's cringy? No, but I'm saying, like, you're not married yet.
You're already decided
so
to
that's
not
what I'm
have
asking.
sex
What's cringy? Like, holding hands is cringy.
You kissed them and it was
kissed them is cringy.
Weird.
Whatever, kissing, touching, the whole nine.
Okay.
It's a good time to leave a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good time to leave.
But more specifically to the question, it's just like everything else clicks for them. Like, maybe, they're really good at, physical, like everything else, but just in the act of the sexual acts aren't. It's just not there. It just doesn't work.
Y'all don't like that? You been lying to me? No, I'm just playing.
That's crazy.
Well, this has been a Three Guys podcast.
No. Honestly, like, okay, if you come across that in dating, it's a good time to leave.
No,
It's a good time
for
to
real.
leave because that is a huge part of the relationship.
For sure.
So yeah, but what I'm saying is, if that's not an issue, if you don't find out you have a sexual problem until you're married, which means you don't have a problem until it's time to have sex, then you can work on that. Because if that means they checked all the other boxes. But if they just, when it's time to kiss them, they act like a dork, and it's like, nah, I can't. So we can't get to home plate if we can't get past first base. You get what I'm saying?
If you are repulsed by somebody, don't try to force a relationship.
Exactly. Exactly.
You have realized, like, for some reason the way he held my hand just gave me the ick.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they be saying.
Like, this man's hands are clammy every time.
If it's that bad and you're repulsed and you can't see yourself holding his hand, how are you going to be in a marriage?
Yeah.
That don't even make sense to me.
Homies, exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of people should just
don't even be their homies. Don't even be
Not
homies.
them?
Don't even be homies.
Okay, well,
Just be
never
like,
mind.
you know, I love you with the love of the Lord. If you ever need something, you know, I'll try to be there for you.
I'll give you my
Let's
cousin
leave it
number.
at that. I'm really like more now that the more I get older, I'm really for like, especially for how men are nowadays. Like, if you know nothing is gonna come from your relationship, and you know that man wants to be with you, like, leave him alone. Like, not necessarily like, you know, you don't have to talk. You don't need to ignore him.
No,
and
you're right.
everything like that.
You're
but
right.
like, if he invites you out, like, nah,
You're right.
nah, I don't think we should. You know, like, don't lead him on. Don't give him false hope, because I know how we are as men, especially if we don't get a lot of attention elsewhere, and you're the only person that ever gave us attention, and you keep stringing us on because you know, like, oh, he's a really nice guy. I just don't really, I'm just not feeling him. Don't
you're
give
right.
him false hope, because I mean that leads into a lot of it can lead to a lot of things for him. So you just gotta be real with him.
I believe
You just gotta cut off the.
I believe about 80% of women have a friend that they know loves them, and they just don't want that guy. Yeah. I believe it's like 80%, and I'm being nice with the 80%. I want to say 100%.
You want to say 110,
but I believe it's about 80%, and typically that guy is their brother. You know, that's my brother. But they know for a fact that boy like them, is in love with them. So yeah, you're right. Go ahead. Yeah, don't be friends with him, because he's gonna spend his whole time waiting for an opportunity. He's gonna be there for you. Every time he's there for you, he's just trying to prove to you that I'm what you should have, and you see it as, oh my gosh, he's a good guy. Yeah, and that's not what he's. That's not what he's doing.
He probably is a good guy, but he's only a good guy for you.
Yeah.
To that extent.
Yeah, to that extent.
For you.
And it gives him the opportunity to get over you
and move on. Yeah.
So he can actually find somebody who wants him the same way he
And it allows him to keep trusting women.
Yeah.
Because one way that some people, and it goes both ways, women lose trust in men because of how a man broke her heart, and men lose trust in women because of how a woman broke his heart.
And that's how you can drive some of these dudes crazy, because they'll be looking at you getting into your other relationships with people who they believe are trash, and they may very well be trash, but you just have a better, you know, relationship with that person, and he's thinking in the back of his head, like, I don't know why she's wasting time with him, and he's frustrated and, you know, mad at you, and you know, whatever, like, doing all this stuff that is unnecessary when you could just be like, nah, we can be cordial friends. Like, you know, if I see you in public, we cross paths, like, it's cool. Like, you can say what's up, you can greet me, but like, we're not gonna do any exclusive activities together.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah,
none of that.
I got a homeboy. He's been in love with this girl since like high school, and she's like, no, I don't like you, but you're like a brother to me. That's what she hit on, when you're like a brother to me. And he's always been there for her. Tire go flat, he's there to change it. Like, he's always there for her. He finally got the courage to move on, and he got married, and I guess he told his wife, and his wife was like, yeah, you can't be friends with her. And now she's mad, like, why'd you tell her? And I'm like, yeah, he don't need to be friends with you, because he's not being a friend. He's being everything that he can be to you. Every inch that you give him, he's gonna take it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, cut that off. Don't do that to guys.
He's your man minus the benefits.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the reason why they mad.
That's the
because, like, that was my man. That was my sugar daddy without the sugar.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of women got that. I ain't mad at you. Do your thing. As long as my wife ain't got one. So
You got that right. My wife don't got one. I know all her
with
friends.
the next one.
You think you know all they friends?
Nah, I know all of them. I don't really know them, though, but I know 'em.
I thought this was a stupid question. Why do men come back after ghosting you?
Come on
Why
now.
do men come back after ghosting you?
Come on now. That is a stupid question.
That is a dumb question. I don't know. It could be a tons
You
of
got
reasons.
something they want.
Did you hear an
/
answer
need.
from that one? Do you recall what they answered that question with? Because I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, the answer was, I knew you'd take me back when I ghosted you. And so now that I'm done doing what I want to do,
I'm back.
I'm back.
It's
And I agree with that 100%. That's because you let them.
So basically, like left them in the cut, and it's just like, okay, well, now I know you're gonna stay there because
You gonna be there.
wow.
Think about if somebody ghosted you. And they came back, what you gonna do? I don't even know. Hello, who's this? I don't know this person.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me before.
Yeah, if you ghost
And
me,
it was weird. They were trying to pick up where it left off. I'm like, man, you
Exactly.
think I'm just waiting for you?
thank you.
Like, no way.
Thank
You know who I am, woman?
But for some people they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, you're back. And it's like, yeah, he knew you was gonna be that way,
That's the
and
reason
that's
came
why
back.
he did it.
Wow.
Men do what they allowed to do. It's that simple.
True.
Because if you ghost the wrong person, you ain't never gonna find him again.
Well, exactly.
You gonna be looking for him, can't find
That is
him.
what it is.
So yeah,
You're
I thought
blocked
that was,
after a while.
I thought that was a dumb question. But who has anyone here ever ghosted somebody?
Have I ghosted somebody?
Ghosted somebody.
Nah, I've been ghosted twice though.
Really?
Yeah. I know you think it'd be impossible.
At least
I'm in my
somebody
Leonard
would.
bag today. I
Man.
guess. Normally
What's-
Leonard would be saying
What's
all
in
these
that
things.
cup?
Yeah, I don't know.
I ghosted somebody before.
Light skin juice.
I wasn't in a relationship with them, but I did kind of like them a little bit. I never really met them in person. It was just like an online thing. I did kind of like them a little bit. And we, used to talk on the phone and all that stuff. And then I got in a relationship and I cut it off.
See, I'm always like, when it came to relationships with girls, I was super forward about like how I was feeling. So if I stop feeling them, I'm just gonna tell them like, hey, I'm kind of done. And it could be like we could have just had a great day the day before, and like
Yeah, that was a fun day.
yeah, and it's just like
never doing this
you know
again.
What? I don't know. I think I'm gonna go a different route.
I think,
And that was
things going
it.
back on the market.
I ghosted, and I'm not saying it's like ghosting is good or whatever, but I just ghosted her because I just didn't feel like having that conversation. She was already a lot to deal with. She was already. I really thought she was crazy. I'm gonna show you how crazy she was. Like I blocked her and everything, and then like she found one of my YouTube videos and was like, "Hey, you didn't block me here."
Crazy.
That was her comment on YouTube. Hey, you didn't block me here.
Did you block her there?
Oh, okay.
I absolutely did.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so like I knew like the direction my life was going, and I knew I didn't have the energy to do it. Now, could a more mature person would have been like, "Hey, I'm getting in a relationship, and I'm in things here." But I just wasn't that, and I was okay with it. So I've ghosted somebody before. I've never been ghosted though. What is it like to be ghosted? Like you text them and the number just doom doom doom.
I mean,
This number is not.
it was kind of
longer
like
available.
Well, one of the situations was that. Another, it's crazy because technically I've been ghosted 3 times, and I'll give you like every time. Now, mind you, that sounds
light
like a
skin
lot.
ain't working for you.
no,
Is
your
it?
Hold on, wait a
skin
minute. That
broken.
sounds like a lot, but I've talked to a lot of women over the time. So when you do
the math,
when you do the math,
averages
it's really not that bad. And then, of course, some of these don't. Well, I mean, I guess it counts. Like I was young, so it really didn't matter. But there was a girl I dated in like elementary school. Oh no, it was
that
middle
don't
school.
count.
It was middle school.
Don't count
Okay,
either.
so I mean, that was my third one that I thought about. But like the whole summer, we would talk on the phone every day, like during school, like everything. We talked on the phone every day. If we didn't get to see each other or whatever, we talked on the phone. Summer goes by, I didn't hear from her all summer. Summer, a long time.
That's
especially for middle
3
school.
months.
Summer, a long time.
Yeah.
Didn't hear nothing. Called the phone, blown her up. Called her friends. I can't get in touch with her. I don't know if she did. I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, it's been 3 months. I guess this thing over with. This thing over with. School started back. She looking for me like, oh, we dating. I'm like, I'm already dating another girl at that time.
Oh, so she got a summertime bae, and then she got a winter, spring, and
think I
No,
fall
so
bae.
apparently what happened is she went to Mexico for the summer.
Yeah.
And we're young, so she ain't had no way to call me. She didn't remember my number, or whatever.
Yeah, she forgot.
So she thought everything was cool, but I'm just like, when was you gonna tell me you was going to Mexico? Maybe I would have been like, okay, I'll chill in the summertime. But then I would have been like, nah. If she would have told me that, I would have been like, yeah, it's over. It's
Blame it
over.
on
I ain't gonna hear
Mexico.
from
You could have held it down for one summer.
Nah, I can't hold it out.
That's terrible.
That's
I
wild.
couldn't hold out. Nah, I need to be talking to somebody. I need to be caking with somebody on the
This
phone.
man-
You
So
said
you
was
can't
not made to
hold
be
it down
single.
till somebody
Nah,
go to
bro,
jail.
Not
it
made
just-
to be
it just
single.
wasn't it.
I understand. Well, okay, we want to hear about the adult ghosting situation.
Okay,
so,
so-
yeah, definitely want to hear that.
I was talking to someone after getting out of another relationship, and we was cool. We was talking every day, stuff like that. Of course, it was kind of a long distance thing. So, she moved somewhere, and then she just wouldn't, like, I would call, she wouldn't really answer. She wouldn't really text me or call me back or nothing like that. And I was just like, wow, okay, that's it. And it literally just ended. They can't see. They literally just ended like then. And I don't even know when we talked again. It kind of like, I just knew like, okay, well, we're not, that's kind of over with. And it didn't really hurt that much because we already were long distance and we didn't get like time to be physically with each other, but we were talking heavily, like, and everything. And it was with all the intentions to lead to that. Well, no, in both of our minds. I mean, it was kind of confirmed in so many ways, but well, you're right. Actually, you know what? In my mind, it was in my mind that that's where it was going, and I could have been confused. But after that happened, I was just like, all right, I move on. I won't say I moved on quick, but I did move on.
He moved on the next day, y'all. It was
like
the
once
next
I
day.
realized, okay, like, yeah, this person's not interacting with me. I don't think they really want to interact with me. And then I was already like, yeah, I don't know what it was.
I ain't had the energy. That was right. So you've had no ghosting on either side. Anybody out there in the audience?
I don't know nothing about being ghosted.
You been ghosted?
I've been ghosted a couple times. They came back though, but definitely ghosted. But that's because the whole time he was still in a relationship. They say he wasn't engaged and all that.
Okay,
I don't know if y'all heard that. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard that.
She said she's been ghosted a couple times, but they came back. And I don't know if it's the same person that did the ghosting, but same person that did the ghosting a couple times. Apparently, the person ghosted her because they were actually in a relationship the whole time. They were talking to her and engaged and had like a family and whatnot. And she was totally unaware of all of that.
That's
And
crazy.
they were trying to hide it. And that's why from time to time, he had to ghost her.
That's crazy.
This
That's
situation
crazy.
is a lot wilder than I thought.
Have any of you ever dated somebody and found out they was married?
No.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling. I tell you that much. Happened to me.
That
My
is
friend
crazy.
told me she was married. I was like, bro, stop lying. There's no ring on her finger. I was with her last night. There's no way she's married.
There's no ring on her finger. I was with her last night.
That's all
Bro,
it takes to
Bro,
verify.
she's married.
I know. That's what I thought. Married women wore rings. That's what I thought.
You'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the second
I
time
ain't
I
had no
got ghosted,
situation
it
like
was
that.
well, no, this might have been before the last time I got ghosted. But anyway, it was funny because like this person ghosted me, and I was at school one day and she randomly called me back like, "Hey, babe, what's up?" Blah blah blah.
What?
Hey, babe.
Talking to me like you ain't like we just been talking. We just picking up where we left off 2 months ago when you weren't conversing with me at all.
People weird.
And so I was just like, what? I was confused. And she was like, oh. And so I kind of told her right there, like, nah, we're not talking. Then said person started to cry. And she hung up the phone. And then I'm talking to my homeboys there. They're laughing.
Yeah,
like,
I
at the
would have
school,
been rolling.
That's definitely a thing guys will laugh
And
about.
and I'm like, uh-oh, she calling back. I put her on speaker so they can hear.
Oh.
I don't think she knew
we
I was
love
on
that.
it. I don't know if she knew. I had
She
on
didn't
speaker.
know.
She know.
But
She didn't
yeah,
know.
she was just kinda like, can we just start over? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, no.
That's wild.
Like, I don't know. You can't just up and just not communicate with
Did
me.
the
and
guys
then-
laugh with the phone on speaker though?
Nah, they
Oh,
they
they're
they
nicer.
kept it P. They
They're
they
nice.
was cool, but we
I would have
laughed
been
afterwards.
rolling. Yeah, I would have held it in. But
Oh yeah, we
afterwards,
definitely
yeah.
laughed afterwards. And
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, I was just shocked. I was like, I was not expecting that call. Like, okay, I thought you made your decision. Like, okay, we're not moving forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was always people that I was in like a heavy talking stage with. Like we expressed that we liked each other, that we, and stuff like that, but we didn't we never made, like, we weren't like official or anything like that. But like we were, so
In my experience, they always come back.
yeah.
They always do. So
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that.
you don't know about that? You ain't
I
missing
don't know
nothing.
nothing about that.
Yeah, he ain't missing none,
Yeah, but for those of you out there, they always come back. Let me see. I think I got one more. I got two more. This one goes to the ladies. Ladies, do you believe in women's intuition? Just yay or nay? Yes. Okay. So if you can tell
They
when
said
he's
yes.
cheating, can you tell when he's unhappy?
Wow, that's crazy. That took too long to answer. I'm not gonna lie. I
Women's
have to
intuition is good for cheating, but
It's not
Yeah,
good. It's
it's
not
not
good
good
to
for
actually
anything
know
else.
you.
because I don't believe in women's intuition, and here's why. Too many. Yeah, for one, I don't have it. That's for one.
Yeah.
So, but too many women end up with the wrong man,
Mm.
and I feel like your intuition should have been intuitionizing on whether or not they was worth your time. So I don't believe in women's
But
intuition.
intuition doesn't necessarily parallel to like self-esteem. So they can have low self-esteem and be with a weird
So
dude.
they could just ignore their intuition.
Yeah, because even if you have low self-esteem, your intuition should tell you that's a no-go.
Because that's what I think it is. I do believe in women's intuition.
Okay.
I do believe in women's intuition because I don't know, like, and I don't have a ton of experience with it, obviously, but the from the situations and people that I know that have, like, a lot of times they were right.
That's why you
And-
got ghosted 3 times. It was women's
right.
intuition.
Yeah.
They ghosted me.
Yeah.
I have a
So-
question. Is women's intuition only for when a woman is about to get hurt? Okay.
I don't think it's only for that. I think it's more important, I guess. But because I feel like but I feel like we know things. But the thing with women's intuition, we can know things, but because we don't have evidence of that thing, we can't act on it, say anything about it until something comes up where we're like. But when it happens or something happens, we'll be like,
I knew it. I knew it the whole time.
Now, let me
Yeah.
ask this too. Like, is it intuition or is it just paranoia sometimes? Because I believe sometimes when you think of every way a situation could go wrong so you can't be surprised, that's not intuition. That's just like a defense mode. That's just like, yeah, it's just defense mode.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to hurt me in my mind before this person gets the opportunity. So I'm just going to assume that he's doing all these things. So it won't be surprising if he actually is or does. I think that happens a lot too. Because it comes from like people who are hurt. And so since they don't want to experience that again, they will amass every type of situation in their head. And then when it comes to pass, they'll be like, see, I knew that was going to happen. And I'm just like, you didn't really know, but you're trying to set yourself up for it.
I mean, they can sense. I think women, maybe even men, can sense certain things. But to your comment about the like happy or women sensing happiness for their man, I think just like y'all aren't mind readers, we're not mind readers. So when it comes
So it
to
don't work.
y'all's
It don't work to
happiness,
help you. It only work to help her.
I don't know what
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah, I
Don't
know what
worry.
you're
But when it comes to y'all's happiness, like that's a communication thing. If you're not happy, you should be communicating that. Because like I said, y'all like to suppress certain things or push you down. So y'all might be just outwardly being your
Yeah.
regular chummy self or whatever, but could be unhappy. And how would we?
I agree with you 1,000%. I agree that a man. I agree that So let me not just say, man. I agree with that 1,000%. Like a person should express their unhappiness. They shouldn't wait for someone to be a mind reader. Yeah. So I agree with that 1,000%. The reason why I brought it up though wasn't because I agree with that like 1,000,000,000%. Because I always say if you got an issue, you need to tell me. Don't expect me to know. So I agree with that more than I can express how much I agree with it. But the reason why I brought it up was because like if your intuition is giving you a sixth sense on when you're being cheated on, why is it not giving you a sixth sense on other stuff? That's all I was bringing it up for. I don't know if I really believe in women's intuition. I believe that a smart person can observe a situation and see things that are not said. And if you call that women's intuition, sure.
For sure.
But I don't think it's like
someone
only for women.
Wanted me to say that they believe there's this thing called the Holy Spirit.
Discernment.
And discernment.
Mm.
So yeah, a woman could have that.
Yeah, but
that's not limited to.
But that's not limited to women, is what I was saying. Yeah, definitely.
I understand. I'm just saying what I needed to say.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I think the reason why I believe in it is because I know, like, women have a better, and just this is a general statement, obviously, but I feel like women have a better time remembering things that us as men don't remember because they have an emotional attachment to memory. Like,
it's a fact.
So if something makes them feel away, they'll remember that more than we will.
That's a fact.
And so they're able to deductively reason, like, if something is happening from us, because they can remember, like, oh, I remember the way he like shoved me off that one day, and we won't even remember that. Something like that.
Listen,
like if a woman did that to us, we'll be like, that's a little bit weird, and we'll think about it for a day, and literally it'll be going like we won't even remember it.
Listen.
But y'all will remember that. And so because of that, and because they can recall things the way that they can, I believe it lends to their intuition, and they have a little bit better time figuring stuff out than us as men do.
A woman's ability to recall is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know your wife has made you mad, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you cannot name 10 things that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you she can name 50 that you've done.
Exactly.
I can't name 10 things. Like, if I had to think right now, I'd have to be like,
I know it happened.
Like, I know it happened,
but I just can't.
But I can't come up with 10 things off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
But a wife be like, listen, I've been waiting for the opportunity to tell you, man.
We're going to start and go backwards this morning.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because I remember, like, one day, like, I was, like, journaling, and I was writing down some of the stuff that had made me upset. And I'm like, dude, if I didn't write this down a week after,
no way.
I literally would not remember that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah. They have recall ability out of this world.
That's the truth.
I need to find that journal for my wife does. Mm-hmm. Babe, don't read that.
Gracious.
Y'all don't journal?
Not at all. I'm a man.
I write. Like, I'll write poems or I'll write lyrics.
Same thing.
So that's kind of like my journaling. I don't really journal like to say like, hey, July 21st, this is what I did.
No, it's just some personal thoughts. You know, I write down sometimes.
Maybe I should though. I used to write a lot more.
I used to write way more when I was younger. I was very poetic. Kind of like a young King David.
LB the Great.
You know, There's evidence online.
Yep.
LB the Stewart. So, you know.
Yep. Shameless plug.
Yeah. There's some classics out there.
I ain't gonna lie, you had a couple good ones.
Listen,
I ain't gonna,
you know, in my younger days, I fully embrace being older, and I just think that like when you're over 30, I just feel like jumping up on stage and all that stuff. This is a little bit beyond you. Like, I got kids. I'm tired.
Well,
but in my
I would
days,
say
I was dope.
Nah, I feel you. That's a personal thing.
I couldn't imagine being a rapper at like 45.
There's a lot of them though.
I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying, me personally, like I'm trying to get fit right now. It's hard,
man.
I ain't got the energy I had. Jumping
Getting
up and down
fit after 30 is crazy work.
Yeah. All right, I think we got one more. I didn't like that one. Hold on, let me see. Okay. It was a bunch of. I got these from a very popular podcast. To me, it seemed like a lot of the questions. I started writing down the questions from the podcast because to me, it seemed like a lot of the questions weren't really questions. It was just complaints. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what be happening.
So here was another question. Why do men ask women to be their peace, but they bring chaos?
because they got chaos. I'm talking about if I got chaos, I need somebody to be my peace. What kind of question is that? Not in much simpler. People are selfish.
Dang. I say that all the time. I don't think people
People are
realize that. People are selfish.
If you got something good that somebody wants, male or female, they'll try to get it from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And I really now see. Here's my problem with that show that you were referencing.
Great show.
I think it can be really entertaining,
Very entertaining.
very
Wildly
entertaining. But at the same time, I feel like there's like a lack of intelligence
There's a demographic there.
that annoys me. So like to not understand that, I understand that some people don't, but like that's a question I feel like is so simple. You know, it's beyond simple. They're getting what they can get out of you because people are everybody knows that, and that's the case with everything.
You know, sometimes when people ask questions, I'd be like, "Oh, that's why you're single."
God,
Yeah.
And when I watch
that show,
they ask questions, I'd be like, "Ah,
That's
why you're single." Okay, I get it.
I get it.
It makes sense. So, yeah, that's what her.
That's a good.
That's why you're single.
That's a weird one though to me because it's like the I think we fall on a saying so much that we forget that it's a twofold thing. Like a relationship is a twofold thing. So, you know, whenever they're saying, you know, oh, women be his peace or whatever, like a man should be the peace for their significant other as well.
Absolutely,
100%.
So I don't know why we lean so much into that. Now, of course, I know it's compared to like, you know, us as men, we go out and fight the world and everything like that. And I'm like, yeah, but we're not fighting wars like we used to have to do back then.
I ain't fighting
and like
nothing. I'm fighting
for
traffic.
women,
That's about it.
exactly. And for
might not fight that.
Might not fight that.
and like, you know, in a lot of households, not all, but a lot of households, both the man and the woman work. Both the man and the woman have to contribute in that sense. So we're trying to be each other's peace in that sense because we're both having to go out and fight the world. And we, you know, yeah. So it's different. Now, of course, for those who are in situations to where, you know, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody who's going to, you know, take the reins and take care of them fully and they don't have to work. I mean, I think that's just a part of the deal at that point. It's like, you know, he doesn't just have you that's going to stress him out or the kids. It's going to be whoever he's going to work with, and you don't have to deal with that if you don't want to. So, yeah, I think you should lend grace in that area. And now, as far as the bringing chaos thing, I think that's just a personal thing.
Never let someone bring chaos to your life.
Exactly, because if nobody should be bringing chaos to your life, and you're continually trying to be peace for him, but he's just continually
At that point,
chaos.
I got questions for you. Forget you being his peace. Why are you okay with this person bringing chaos?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about them that you like so much
That you're putting up with chaos.
that you put up with chaos?
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
Chaos is a strong word.
Yeah, that's what
disarray. That's disorder.
Yeah. Not like God.
Mm-hmm.
He is not the author of confusion.
Mm-mm.
I'll start preaching up in here.
And I know what the thing is that they like that allow him to keep doing that, and that also comes from not being like God and being not of order and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother thing.
All I know is don't let nobody bring chaos into your life. If they bring chaos, it's time to go.
But that's the thing. It kind of goes and segues back into the first question that we asked, which, well, I don't know if it was the first or second question, honestly, but about how the sexual chemistry isn't right. Like, if your concern is so much there, no wonder why you got so many people that bring chaos. Because the person that's not bringing you chaos, maybe he don't do it right to you, and you don't want him in your life because you feel like, so you just keep going with the chaos.
Sex is the downfall of so many people's lives.
Man, listen, sex messes up people in so many ways, and they have no idea that all their problems right now are not because things are hard. It's because
things were hard.
This is a family show.
Because you couldn't control yourself, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta learn to control. It's dudes right now broke like a joke, not because the economy is hard, but because when they got hard, they couldn't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of broke men, this ain't got nothing to do with this, but I gotta speak to my sisters. Stop letting men move in with you.
Come on now.
Stop that.
Say it again.
Stop letting men move in with you.
Thank you.
If he ain't got a place to stay, he ain't got no right dating. So he got other things to think about. Like I've seen this, like women like let men come in and stay with them, and then they be like, "Oh, he ain't do nothing." I think the idea is like if he comes and live with me and I'm supporting him, he got no right but to be good to me. And it's like, no,
you just gave him another thing to take advantage of.
Yeah, that's it.
People are going, listen, and I say it all the time, people are going to take everything they can take from, if you are going to give it, they are going to take it.
Yeah.
That does not mean that they are going to reciprocate what you gave. It just means that they're going to take it.
I just feel like as a man, I wouldn't feel right dating someone if I didn't have anything. And I'll prove it to you. Like, so I met Gina after I went through a breakup. And so I was like really down, depressed, and definitely needed somebody to talk to me. But then, like, I was also in between jobs when I met her. And I remember, like, giving her, like, $5 for lunch. And that was, like, all I can give her because I didn't have no money. And I was telling her, like, one day, like, I'm going to give you stuff. But I never dated her until I got established. And I remember, like, when I got my job and everything, I was like, I feel good. And then when I got a better paying job, I was like, now I'm going to go ahead and propose to her. Like, I don't understand this. I got nothing to offer the woman, but I'm going to be with her. That's crazy.
Hey, if you can pull it off, I actually say more power to you. To
Meanwhile, you got to be 6 foot tall and make 6 figures to date a woman, or not have a place to stay. It's like one or the other. That's wild to me. Yeah, don't date men who.
But the thing is, he was 6 feet tall.
And didn't have a place to stay.
Didn't have a place to stay, so they're just like, well, I couldn't get everything. So
yeah. It is what it is. Was what it was.
I do wonder, like, does nobody tell? Are these the ladies who have done this? No one ever told them, like, no, that's not the one for you, or this is not the time for you to be with that one. If he's coming knocking on your door saying, "Hey, can I stay here now?" Like, has no one told these, or do they just not care?
I think people are just lonely, and they want something so bad, especially if they are doing the thing that we talked about earlier on the show, which is comparing their situation to a lot of other people. They want to be able to have a man they can call theirs, and whatever. And the same vice versa for men. We'll invite somebody in our lives who may not be good for us, but because we're lonely and we want somebody, then we'll do that. So I think that's really what happens. And so people will forego, like, the base amount of morals for the sake of, like, just having somebody.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
It's not.
Because it just introduces so much more chaos possibly to your life. By not, like, properly vetting and properly, like, it would be nice to have somebody, but, like, I want to have somebody of quality, so, I can have somebody for life rather than for, like, however long I can stand them.
Yeah, I mean, sure. We've all done it, dealt with somebody that wasn't good for us or, best for us, but I still can't get over the fact of a woman taking in a man to come live with her.
I ain't never dated somebody like that, my girlfriend. Somebody who you're dealing with for whatever ridiculous reason, you know that they're not good for you. I've never made somebody like that my girlfriend.
Huh. I think I can say the same thing.
And I feel like when women are doing that, the guy who has nothing going for himself, but yeah, you can move in, and yes, I pay your bills, and we start dating. Now, what you did was you took a extra step from just saying I can get something from this person, and then you put them low key on the pedestal and said this person is going to somehow, some way provide these things for me that they have not at all shown that they can provide. That's what I'm saying. I know why you might mess with somebody, talk to them, do whatever for a period of time, but I'm saying some people go to a certain extent in relationship with these folks, and I don't understand going to that point in relationship with somebody that you know already they can't give you what you need.
This is where fathers are important. Because I think if a girl, Cause if my daughter came to me and was like, "Dad, I love him," I'd be like, "Great. What does he do? What does he do for a living?" That's like one of the first questions you ask, right? What does he do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Now, if he's 17, that's a different story. But if he's 26," and she's like, "Oh, well, he doesn't do anything." Nah, no, ain't for you. Tell him come back in 6 months. Like, I don't see a father like, yeah, my daughter who went to college and worked hard and now has this corporate job. Go ahead and bring that guy into your house.
A true father is looking for a man who's like going to basically take his place, and for lack of a better way or word to saying it. But yeah, like, okay, if I'm not here, like, is he going to be able to take care of her?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'll be honest in my assessment of, like, you know, the father figures and my father specifically in my life, he taught me a lot of things, and a lot of things he taught me that I should have put in place that I kind of ignored at the beginning of my marriage. But then there's a lot of things that I took from him that contributed to a lot of difficult parts of my marriage early on. And of course, you know, my dad isn't perfect, and I don't think no father is perfect, in any sense. But, you know, just to kind of piggyback off of that, like, you know, you may have a father in a situation, but maybe didn't give you the best example of how to lead a woman, like a woman that you're marrying, didn't give you the best example in that sense. So you're kind of like figuring it out. He gave you a good foundation of like what to do in the basic sense of the thing, like, you know, care about her, you know, go to work, make money,
open the door,
you know, be nice, be patient. But like, there's so much more, you know. And so yeah, I think, you know, if you don't have that in your life, you know, it doesn't mean you fall off the horse or anything, but just kind of, I would say, you know, look for mentorship. And I think, honestly, I'm in a part of my life right now, of course, on other things outside of necessarily marriage, but probably including marriage. But I'm looking for like mentorship now. Like, I feel like I'm at an age where it's like, okay, how do I get to the next level? Like, I feel like I have the tools to get to the next level on things, but like, how do I get there? I was like, nah, I think having a mentor or having somebody who's there or who understands the next phase or has been where I've been, like, that's important. So, yeah,
that's top tier. You gotta have that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think in relationships, one thing that people need, something that I'm not gonna lie, I remember this. There's a girl that I didn't date one time because I knew, now my family's not going for that. And by that,
right.
I don't mean she didn't have the proper, she didn't come from the right family or background. I mean, it's important stuff that my family's looking for. That if you bring somebody around, it's like, these are things that you should have, and if they don't have it, it's a no-go. And I realized they didn't have those things, and I was like, well, then if that's a problem, then that's going to be a problem.
I'm going to tell you. Because, listen, if the wig is bad,
that's not one
it's
of the
going
things.
up in the group chat. And if it's too bad, it's going to be a group chat that don't got you in it.
Golly.
So how do you feel? Okay, how your family feels can dictate who you end up with.
It's more so what the values of the family are. For example, if I wanted to bring a girl home who didn't know nothing about Jesus, knowing who I am, how close I am to my family, I know that's going to be a problem. I know that. For me, it's going to be a problem for me. It's not about if it's a problem for them. It's knowing the values that they have. When I bring this around, I know what's going to come back to me. And not only that, I also know that because I understand those values, even if they're not there, I got the values from them. But even if they're not there and I get into a relationship with this person, now I have to deal with them not having that. And how much of a headache is that going to be? But I get those values, and I know that I get those values from the family that I have.
True.
So if it's somebody that I can't bring around my family, because my family is not like, oh, they don't make enough money, they can't. They're not like that. But if somebody is
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
not all there, my family be nice to them. They won't be rude, but they gonna let me know, like, hey, brother, are you aware of what you're dealing with? Like, I'll say two things. One, if emotions are strong enough, then you need to assess your situation. But two, some emotions shouldn't be able to get to a certain place before you bring it to people who can vet the situation.
Sheesh,
I don't think we
say
should
good
be.
stuff.
I don't think we should be diving super deep into some of these relationships without somebody who can see from the outside without candy glazed eyes.
Dang, that's good.
And just look and say, "Oh, I see this in this and this in you, this and this and this in her. These things are major red flags for you two. If you can't bring people around to give you that, then you're kind of walking into a situation blind. Because no matter how much you like a person, because how much you like them, you're missing stuff.
Dang. That's my brother.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't think that you should be in a place where you're like, oh, I just love him so much. There's nothing my family can do before your family sees him.
And then your
can
family
do
be
something.
like,
Because now your family's trying to save you from yourself, and you not listening
yeah.
because you're too deep in love.
Your fam-
And it's not that they hate the other person, they dislike, but they're literally saying, I see the crash coming, and
Yeah.
you're not hitting the brakes. I'm doing my best to do it for you, but you're fighting them on it.
True. But what would you say to someone, someone who maybe doesn't have a good relationship with their family anyway? Like, it's a very, like,
I say that
sure,
that
I'll
is
bring them
a-
around them. Like, I'm just saying, like,
That's
as
tough.
far as
That's tough.
not having that foundation, because the thing is, they're gonna go through that same exact thing, and they're not gonna really have a ton of people that they trust in that way to be able to vet that person, that's tough. Well, yeah, and that's true too. She said, "What if the
Well,
family
There's
vets
a
wrong
couple
as well?
things. One, in every situation, people can mess up. So I'm aware of that. My family could all of a sudden, for some unknown reason, just completely miss out on the person that I brought home, and just not for, I don't know why they wouldn't see her as a good person, but I guess technically it's a possibility that happens. To your point, a couple things. One, that mainly happens when the generation before was messing up. And this is why we should do things God's way. Because that's a tough situation for that person to be in. They did nothing wrong by not having people there. They're supposed to have people there to vet. But if they don't, then now they just have to find out how to navigate that without it. And that's messed up for them. They just got to, you just got to deal with it. The thing I would say is look for community, look for friendship, brotherhood.
This is when you need a good pastor.
Yeah,
On 100.
that's what I'm about to say. Find a good church, some folks that you can say, hey, Pastor so-and-so, I'm interested in this guy. I just wanted you to meet him, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to add, because I just think there was a lot of value there in what you said initially, but I didn't want the people who probably doesn't have that to feel left out and be like, well, I don't really have a family I can. And, it's difficult to find family. I won't say it's like a super easy thing to do if you don't have family, but it can be done, and it should be something that you value, that you hold of high importance, is having a somewhat of a community around you somewhere. Yeah. Because you need the value of other people's perspective in life, because it helps you to just be a better person. Like, I think God honestly made community so important for that reason. Yeah.
Going back to what Miles was saying about bringing the person around, and it's like, well, what if your family doesn't like them or whatever? Well, it's not about that. It's more so about what I was doing the example earlier. As a father, when she brings him to me and she says he's 27 and he doesn't have a job and he hasn't had a job longer than 3 months.
Need a father to let you know.
That's when a father says,
that's a problem.
That's not
it.
it.
A massive problem.
He can come back in 6 months after he's held it down for 6 months, maybe. But no, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that. It's not about does my family like them. It's not about whether or not they like them. It's about can they see qualities in them, good or bad, that I need to be aware of. That's what it's about. It's not like, oh, yeah, I love her. She's going to be a great daughter-in-law. No. It's like I see anger issues, or I see sadness and depression that she hasn't addressed yet. And until she addresses it, it's going to affect you. And if that's what you want to do, so be it. Like, I'll be honest with you. My dad's a pastor. I've seen my dad tell somebody what they're going to face in their marriage, and it was not pretty. And he was like, if that's what you want to do, so be it. So yeah, it's not about oh, what if my family don't like them? No, it's like, what are people that I trust? What do they see that I don't see?
I put it like this. The Bible tells us to heed wise counsel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should have access to wise counsel. That should come in the form, first and foremost, mom and dad. If only from the experience that they had growing up, they should be able to give you some sort of wise counsel. If you don't have that, then I do feel bad for you. But I would also say, don't just say, oh, I don't have it, and I'm just, figure it out myself. I mean, to some extent you have to, but I would also say, go find it. Go search it out and find it. Because that's only one situation in your life where you're going to need that kind of wise counsel to let you know what's good, what's bad, what to look out for. There's a million other situations in your life where you're going to need it. So don't think, well, I figured this one part out. I mean, I stumbled through the first 4, but I finally landed on the right one. Go find that good counsel so you can stop stumbling through 4.
Yeah. Like, for example, this is a lesser example. Like, I remember when I went to go buy a car and I took my dad with me.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because my dad knows more about cars than I do. It's not about like, oh, Dad, I love this car. Because we did have a disagreement on one car. I ain't gonna lie, right? But I'm not like, oh, Dad, I love this car. I love this car anyway, Dad. I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, I'm gonna listen to what you got to say because I value your opinion. It's the same way with bringing somebody around. Because like, when my kids get in the day, and I'm gonna be right there, like, yes or no. I'm gonna let them know why.
Yeah, and I would say, if your parents aren't a good example of somebody who you can, they may be good in other areas, but not in that specific area, then you can seek out somebody who is, and then get their wise counsel. So, I mean, don't limit it to, I mean, you would hope you could look to your parents for that in that situation, but some situations you might not be, and it's not because your parents are, have a good relationship with them or anything like that. It's just that's not something that they're familiar with. Maybe your dad doesn't know anything about cars.
Yeah.
You don't bring him to the dealership.
Don't do it.
You go find your friend who knows, or your uncle who knows, or your cousin, and bring them. So yeah, it's good to bring them around. If you have a good community of sound friends, and you bring your person that you're vetting or that you're trying to be in a relationship around them, and they see some things, take heed to what they have to say, because they have your best interests at heart. For the most part, they should. But yeah, nobody gets it perfect, but it is better to have, a second pair of eyes on it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And we're not saying blindly follow what they see, but they should be able to explain what they see that you can see it too.
They should be able to see something.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that. I'm out of questions.
That's it.
That was it.
Well, let God arise and his enemies be scattered.
Come on now.
If there's enemies in the chat, go ahead and scatter.
No,
I'm just
press
kidding.
subscribe.
But before you go ahead, and subscribe.
Share the video. Tell the world why you don't like it.
Nah, for real.
But yeah, we're getting ready to scatter, and we love y'all. Not because we're enemies of the Lord.
May the Lord
because
watch.
we're running for Jesus, and we're doing it for a long time. And guess what? We're not tired yet.
I'm not tired yet.
Yeah, we love y'all. Like and subscribe. We hope y'all have a good rest of your evening, night, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are in life. We love you. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.